I've felt like that since I had COVID. Yeah. Like, and people say that. I remember being way sharper and taking less time for me to, like, accumulate thought. And now it's like I have so much time between my idea and my ability to, like, put it into words.
Yeah, it's like easy to fuck up words.
Dude, I would freestyle for hours, bro.
Since you had COVID, this is like
Been something that
fuck, that's crazy.
It's been something that, like, and it's subtle. It's not like crazy, but it's just enough
for
to,
you
like,
to notice. Like,
it feels like it feels like I'm a little stoned.
Yeah,
or like like a hungover kind of feeling, like wet brain.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
brain. Yeah,
and it's not dramatic, but it's like enough to definitely make an impact. It's like I just feel dumb, dude. Like I feel like my brain is not working as quickly as normal. Is that a typical side effect of COVID?
could be. Could
Maybe.
be.
That seems like one of those like long-term things that like
Yeah.
they haven't really discovered yet.
Yeah,
kind of.
Maybe
And
it's
my,
like,
my breathing's been fucked. You guys know. And I've also been smoking a whole bunch, cigarettes and vape.
Good for me in the 5K though.
But it's like heavy. Like,
Yeah.
and when, like, I felt pretty sick the last week because we had a ton of rain and, like, the pollen's ridiculous. So I've just felt like shit.
yeah,
But it's like more than normal. Like, if it is allergies, seasonal allergies, I could deal with that, you know? But it feels
It's
like,
like allergies plus something.
plus like a little more. It's like allergies plus a little more allergies, you know? I don't know. Do you guys think that there is like lasting effects of having COVID?
There might be. I mean,
might be.
didn't they like
I don't know.
do like X-rays of people's lungs and there was like scar tissue in their lungs or some shit?
Yeah, I heard
Like-
that too.
Like that shit is probably.
And you
like,
know how
scar
bad
tissues forever. I'm pretty sure.
you know how bad like I had it. Like I when I got it,
Yeah, you were
It was-
fine, dead, basically.
it was bad.
and
dude.
then like,
it was fucking bad, dude.
Damn.
So I don't know. You know?
Yeah, man. I just been feeling fucking brain foggy.
Yeah.
Tripping over words. Mouth spaghetti.
Just like slow.
Yeah.
Like slow on my
that
toes.
could be that could be like the lasting effects of COVID.
So what do you do if it is like what if it is and what the fuck do I do then?
You found a new normal, I guess. Like
I don't
like
like
you're
that
coming out of
option.
an acid trip.
No, I
it's
don't
like
like-
it's the new normal.
I don't like that option. I don't like that option.
What else?
I just gotta
What
work
else can you
hard.
do?
Work harder.
Work harder, I guess.
Brain vitamins.
Alex,
New
like, no,
tropics.
just throw in the towel.
Throw-
It
well-
is what it is.
Drink your gamer juice.
Now you got to live
No,
life
don't
around
read,
this.
Don't read more. No, don't fucking try to exercise your mentality, dude. You fucking just. It's a
This
new
is
normal.
It. This is it.
That is something's to be said there about our culture and with COVID and like with the language of new normal being so prevalent. There's something to say about like the acceptance of that. It's like, okay, adversity, which would be COVID, new normal. Shouldn't it be adversity rise to the occasion?
I always saw it as the new normal was rising to the occasion because nobody wants this new normal. So like us rising to the occasion would be like accepting it,
Working around it.
working around it, and trying to live life with this stupid
But that
bullshit going
seems
on.
Lazy
It
to
does.
just, like,
it does
live
seem
with
like
it.
we're just kind of like laying down and
Yeah,
laying down and
taking
accepting
it.
it. So I guess maybe the
Isn't that exactly what we're doing?
yeah.
Like as a society, I'd be interested to know, and this is why I think we should hire somebody to be on the computer for us. But I'd be interested to know how post-COVID like epidemic, and I don't know if we're even still if it could be considered an epidemic still, but post-epidemic numbers where it was hysteria, there was quarantines globally. How are other nations, like other places, handling the stage that we're at now? Is there like all this new normal talk, or is it just like, all right, the threat is gone?
I mean, the stage that we're at now is kind of different than everywhere else that's been at. Nobody's been at the stage we're at because we're at the stage where the vast majority, like the highest percent of people are like vaccinated for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then what would be the necessity there of a new norm? Wouldn't it just be like implement everything as it was? You know, like a
I
reset?
feel like it should be.
It should be. I'd hope so.
But, I mean, after 9/11, shit didn't go back to
Yeah.
what normal was
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
That's a good point. That's it. Do you think that it's a listen, you know, I've been around the conspiracy well, you know, and I've sipped from it on a few occasions. I definitely have washed my feet in the conspiracy well. But do you think that it's a conditioning thing where people are being kind of like guided towards a certain train of thought where it's like, okay, this COVID thing is scary. You know, the risk is death for you, for the people you love, especially for old people. But you can be the one to help by doing this, this, and this. So it feeds into like the everybody's a hero in their own story complex, while at the same time fueling people's ego by saying, okay, well, if I'm doing this, this, and this, just like I'm being told to, I'm way better than this guy who's like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. So
Conditioning, no, but heavily influenced based off of where you're seeing that kind of stuff. Yeah, like you can see that kind of stuff. Like you're helping by doing this and that.
By getting the vaccine and wearing a mask.
Yeah, and then you flip the channel and it's like, don't wear your mask. Don't get the vaccine.
Do you think in like a year's time there's going to be, once when like 90% of the population is vaccinated and shit, there's going to be like people like hate towards people that haven't gotten the vaccination? Like,
Maybe.
do you think there's going to
That's
be
interesting.
outward hate and like it's going to be like people will cheer on the people that are outwardly hating the people that didn't get the vax and stuff?
Well, it does seem like the direction we're headed in.
Yeah. I mean, I've already seen memes of like people like me flexing on all the me once I get the vax, and he's like flexing on all like the people that don't have it or whatever.
As
But,
if we
like-
needed another reason to feel divided.
Yeah, and like hate another person. Like,
It could head that way, and it'll be fucked.
I feel like
I feel like
it is.
there already is.
Yeah.
There's already like clear evidence that shit goes on right now.
God
it's
bless,
happening.
man.
It's already in the memes.
God
like-
bless, dude. It's such. Everybody's like trying to be super PC, man. Yeah, like there's such a thing as two. And let me mark my words here, because everybody is doing it under the pretense, and everybody's behaving the way that they're behaving under the pretense of good and like
Yeah,
greater good,
They're saving somebody else.
which a good way to try to be.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, the radio signals get fuzzy, because it stops being about, I'm doing this for the greater good, and it starts being about, you're not doing this, so you're the enemy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the turn the other cheek argument from the Bible, dude, where it's like, all right, I'm going to do this because my heart is like guiding me towards that. You know, like I feel like I'm being pulled to do the right thing
Yeah.
as I see it. And I see this is the right thing, right? I see getting the vax is the right thing. So I'm going to do that because I want to be part of the greater good. Why does it then turn into, oh yeah, but him, he didn't get it. We got it. Fuck that guy, right? Oh,
that motherfucker.
fuck that guy. Like, it's just, there's so much like animosity.
Yeah. I kind of see the vaccine like, if you have the vaccine, then you're not going to get sick. Say I don't have the vaccine. Like, you have the vaccine, so I'm not going to get sick from you.
That's not true.
You could
That's
get
a
sick-
common,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
a very common
Just because I'm
misconception.
vaccinated doesn't mean I couldn't give it to everybody in the house.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You
You like
I
you
really
can carry
didn't know
it, it just
that.
won't fuck you up. You can still
Oh,
spread
shit.
it though.
Oh.
yeah, you still carry the virus.
Supposedly, right?
You still carry the virus.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And you
well,
could
I
still,
guess that is like a little bit of a problem. Then.
yeah, you could still
So
pass.
there's just a little wrench in that fucking.
You can
theory.
still pass off the virus, but it's just when you do contract it, you don't feel sick.
You don't get the symptoms.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And that's I thought the same thing, but my boss got it, and he actually was the one that was like, "No, that's not true. Like I could still have it because I was walking around with like this sense of
like you
all good.
Like,
COVID can't touch
yeah,
me.
I'm golden."
Yeah.
And a lot of the homeowners that I deal with are elderly dudes, so I'm like walking into these old people's houses, and I'm always wearing a mask.
They're not wearing masks though. Usually
Most of the time.
when I go into the houses,
Most of the
they're
time.
like, "Oh, I just got vaccinated. Come on in, it's fine."
Which I mean,
But like the whole pandemic, except for the first couple months, when people didn't have masks on in their house, I'd be like, "Oh no, you're fine. I got one. You're good. Like you don't have to freak out about it." But yeah, now they don't even care. They got the vaccine. They're just like, yeah, come on in. I got the vaccine, so you don't have to be scared. I'm like, all right, whatever. I didn't care 3 months ago.
We're gonna get one of those get the facts links under a video.
Probably.
Yeah.
Get the facts. I need the facts though.
yeah,
know.
I guess I need them.
because we walk around so ignorant to everything.
like
And it's almost like there's no need for the facts anymore. Like there's no need for me to do my research because I sacrifice like any free will or free thought to Instagram and Facebook because they're like, oh, they obviously did the research. So if they're posting this, that's now my opinion. It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. And that's why like there used to be a time where you could judge a man based off of what he said. Right? It's always been what he does, but you could also take
man's
a man.
word is his honor.
Yeah, like my word is bond.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't trust even my own words because
Sometimes I'll read shit and just believe it, but no, I don't know anything about it.
right,
Like,
and we're all coming from that place. As like a culture, we're coming from a place of like complete ignorance, and it's almost like, yeah, I'm ignorant. There's like no self-awareness, right? Because it's like, oh, that's an ignorant perspective, blah blah blah. But if there was any self-awareness, you would be able to recognize and acknowledge the fact you are just regurgitating shit that you've heard as well.
yeah, you're just going off of somebody else's ignorant perspective, creating your own ignorant perspective, not knowing true facts, and it's just like
And the cycle
game of
repeats.
telephone.
Yeah.
Like,
And it branches out. But I think it does. It branches out like a tree. But we all started at the root. At one point we were all united. And then we find every possible way to like sprout, and maybe it's based on like the desire for individuality, but we find these ways to like sprout out and like separate ourselves
The urge
from each other.
to diverge.
The urge to diverge. dude.
To diverge.
It's true. And it's an interesting concept, dude, because we've always been pack creatures. Always.
community is what humanity's based off of. Basically, like society. We live in a society.
We live in a society.
And now, now with social media and shit like that, your individual opinion has never been so front of mind. Usually it would be, I don't know, man. It feels like we got to return back to that unified place.
Return to monkey.
Well, I feel like a lot of that shit. Well, I feel like a lot of like the shit that we are dealing with today is a result of social media and the internet. Like,
Yeah.
like the way society is today is a result of that.
It's like
Everybody having a voice thing.
one of the biggest influential on like thought.
There's a lot of fucking
And
idiots
action.
out there
There's plenty of dumbasses.
that don't deserve to have
that
their
have
voice front
so
and
much
center.
reach.
I'm one of them.
The dumb have more reach.
Yeah.
More than ever. Yeah, look at this.
Look at the crawl. The dumb have more reach because it's more entertaining. Sometimes they were saying, I forget who I heard say it, but they were saying that people were angry, and this is a real thing, dude. People were angry that Elon Musk was going to host SNL last week.
Angry.
Very angry. Like tried to cancel them and all.
For what reason? What?
Well, it was quoted to be his stance on COVID, and that's kind of what like birthed this thought, and like how I associated the two together from what we were just talking about.
Yeah,
they were basically, he had controversial takes on COVID
because it was different than other people's. And
yeah. Elon Musk is one of the most brilliant minds ever. Ever. Ever.
Ever.
Throughout human history, there's only so many people who are able to be born, be raised within this like vacuum of humanity and make such a profound impact.
Yeah, I mean, how many of those people are going to end up the dual axe wielding king of Mars?
Right. Elon is.
the god king of Mars.
And Elon is. It's just crazy, dude.
People were pissed that he was going to be on SNL.
And look at the people who are like criticizing, like, all right, you believe in your opinion on COVID so much that you're willing not only to just denounce and like disagree with Elon Musk's opinion, but you're willing to go to bat that he shouldn't have a further platform because better on the situation.
This guy's building batteries to fucking like power third world nations, like
what literally designing spacecrafts to go to other worlds.
Yeah, to discover our place in the universe.
I'm probably
and
gonna
then you're
trust
like
his opinion way more than Louisa Lefty on fucking Instagram.
Because
she's
she read
irate.
a fact checked under a picture thing. Or fucking
with a mind that analytical. And it does remind me, like any of these scientific people and like your buddy Josh, it always like gives me a better perspective onto like the way that you think, Alex, because you're very analytical and like fact-based and like very sound reason. Like your opinions tend to be birthed from very sound reason, where I'm much more of a dreamer. So my natural instinct is not to like look for the facts to back it up. It's more like I go off of how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
So when I look at a guy like Elon Musk and like the vastness of his knowledge, and I see that people are angry at this guy for having an opinion that's different than the socially accepted opinion, it shows me that like it's further proof that the dumb have a wider reach because it's more entertaining.
It's like you're willing to look past all of like the great things that he has done and probably can and will do for the betterment of humanity as a whole.
Yeah.
Just because he doesn't fit this like guideline that fucking people don't.
It's so dangerous, dude, because without a challenge, your opinion is literally baseless. Your opinion is baseless if I can't challenge it and you could back it up. It's like the put up or shut up thing. Like, right, there's a guy in class that would just talk. He'd be so loud, so disrespectful, so annoying, and he's always chattering. At one point, that guy's going to have to back it up. But there's no backing it up anymore.
No.
No matter
There's no
what.
Need to.
There is a need to, bro, because we're falling apart, dude.
Well, I'm saying like you don't have to in this like situation. People can claim all this shit they want, but they don't need to back it up because nobody gives a shit.
Was it really because of his opinion on COVID?
That was a big reason why.
If this whole time it could have just been like a group of Dogecoin holders,
it was that
terrified of it tanking because of him in a Wario suit,
which it did.
It did.
which it did. That played a part, but there was like just like these distasteful fucking articles and shit, and like I saw a Rolling Stone article about it, and it was like there's no need to be unbiased in journalism anymore. It's just purely entertainment. It's like fiction writing.
Yeah.
And it's just like you see these columns and you see these. We'll go to such great lengths to like explain, like some great minds are being used right now because they saw something on Facebook and they want to say how much of a dumbass the person that posted it is. If those same minds put half of the effort into like trying to understand the opposing argument rather than just like waiting for their turn to talk and going on the offensive. And then the other guy's on the on the offensive, and I'm taking in none of it, and then I go on the offensive. It's like you have to be able to absorb information, or else there's no fucking dialogue. You're
where's
just
the
yelling
progression? Yeah,
there's no growth, dude. It's like, and I feel like we're being stunted right now. Like the point that we're at in human evolution, we're choosing to stunt
it's going the wrong way.
for the first time ever.
Yeah,
And it's ego. You know, it's people being selfish and fucking thinking my opinion is king.
Yeah.
It's fucking so crazy. It's so crazy. I might be egotistical and I might be a son of a bitch sometimes, but if you have some different point of view than me, 100% of the time, I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Like,
me and you disagree on a bunch of shit. Every time I listen to you and try to figure out where you're coming from.
yeah, because you're not like closed-minded. You're not trying to like. I feel like a lot of people are just trying to fit in.
Fuck that.
So it's like they'll like people that I feel like people that don't even have like this opinion, like the opinion that like we'll just use COVID, like the general opinion on COVID. There could be three. I feel like there could be a group out there right now, 3 people that don't have that. The normal opinion that is being pushed out, but they don't know that like you don't have that opinion and you don't have that, so they pretend like, oh yeah, can you believe like X, Y, or Z? And then like you say, yeah, oh yeah, but you don't believe that. I know I don't believe that, and like you don't believe that, like hypothetically, but we're all just like regurgitating something that we think everybody else believes.
like because it's easier too.
Yeah, it's like
It's
because
so
I want
much
to fit
fucking
in.
easier. Yeah, like
And like,
why form your own opinion when you've already seen one, right?
Yeah. When you
And
can
it's
just
a
have somebody
fucking
else do it
problem,
for you.
dude.
But if nothing else, I think that because we're building a platform and because we have voices, that like we are making a conscious decision that we want them to be heard.
yeah,
I feel like there has to be somebody. I don't care what you believe, dude.
I don't give a shit.
I think that if we can talk
As long as
about
it's
it,
not like evil, sadistic, fucked up shit.
yeah,
Because like there's moral shit that obviously
Yeah.
morally somebody shouldn't believe in, but like I don't care your opinion on like
Eating meat.
eating meat. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead, don't eat meat if you don't want to.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I agree with that.
But then there are some people who do think that's evil because that
true.
judgment is objective. Or which one
Judgment
is
is not for us, dude.
Objective or subjective?
Judgment is not for mankind.
I'm getting them mixed
Yeah.
up. I'm
It's
brain
not-
fogged.
I mean,
I think
with
it's
very,
subjective.
with very,
Subjective.
very, very few exceptions, should we like feel the authority to like judge somebody else? Like, all right, if you're a pedophile, I wish that we could bring back burning at the stake.
Yeah,
Right.
some things that deserve judgment, and then
they're
some
so
things
obvious.
that
It's like
don't.
such an obvious, like, this is, you're ruining lives by doing this. But then people will, the semantics get involved, and people will be like, oh, yeah, well, eating meat, to stay with that example, eating meat is ruining people's lives, and then they'll go to the 8th degree of separation on why that's ruining somebody's lives. It's like, no, 1 degree. You get
Yeah.
1 degree. If you're murdering people, if you're raping people, if you're stealing from people,
if you're doing something inhumane,
1 degree.
bad. Anything else?
And you're going to tell me that eating meat is bad because, the industry that it comes from, those fucking, the butcher's daughter has to grow
Yeah.
up seeing their dad come home with blood all over it.
Or like we got 2 canines in our mouth or whatever, and then they're being like, oh no, we never ate meat fucking
dude.
10 million years ago, whenever the fuck we were around. Like, no, well, like we're evolved obviously to eat meat. Like
Yeah.
we can digest it. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
I don't know, man.
I'm picturing it now, dog. Cave
We're
John
living
was
in-
chewing on his arm. I never lost that trait.
We're living in an unprecedented time, and I'm sorry if we go down this serious path or whatever, but
I don't know, it just sprung on, and
we're living in an unprecedented time, and I know I have more to say about it than fart jokes. You know, and if this is like partially, you know, yeah,
I think this the crawl's perfect for these type of discussions too.
I think that it's born for these types of discussions and born from these exact types of discussions. Like, I don't know, man. It's easy to stay away from shit like this, like heady conversations and like current events and stuff like that. It's easy to remove yourself, and you see it all the time with like the people that we're calling celebrities. They'll always distance themselves from anything that could be taken too far one way or too far the other way. But then what? You know, where's your integrity?
Yeah.
Where's your integrity? And where is your real, genuine care for what you're doing? Like, if you're running from important stuff and you're like just running with like Bobby Lee, right? One of my podcasting idols. Like, I really respect the way that he conducts himself. I think he's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
He's hive-minded, extremely hive-minded. And he's too much of a coward, and I think he'd probably admit to this. And I'm cowardly at times too. Fuck yeah.
Probably from living in LA for so long. Sludge pit.
You just like adapt to these ideologies without any fact checking or without any like actual free thought. It's just like, oh, this is what all my friends think. I think that too. It's like you piggyback on the shit. It's fucking pathetic. Like, you're grown adult. Okay, kids who are like super liberal and like or super conservative on the other hand,
and easily impressionable,
that's forgivable. You know what I mean? But to completely denounce people based off of like disagreeing with a few things that they believe, like, that's so fucking ridiculous.
Like when Chris Pratt came out saying that he was going to vote for Trump, and people tried to, like, I think a while ago, but like people trying to cancel him just because of that, like because of who he's voting for, and then like.
And the cancel culture doesn't end in Hollywood or with celebrities.
I think that's where it like begins. That's where like they gotta like.
I think so too.
Show that they're like so PC by canceling people.
But then you lose the edge, dude. Then it loses its cool because it's
then it turns into that the mundane what we were talking about before.
That's an interesting point. So like maybe you hit a point where like you're trying to appease everybody so often that you just turn. It's like Hollywood and the idea of celebrity as we know it today is just reverting back into like a 9-to-5, where it's like it reminds me so much of tyranny, you know, and it reminds me so much of like overpowered government, where it's like you're only allowed to believe what I tell you, and if you believe anything other than that, your community will shun you.
Yeah.
We're just lucky that it didn't turn into fucking people who didn't get the vaccine being killed by mobs. Like they're fucking vampires.
That would be scary shit. That would be like,
how far away are we?
I don't know, but that's like scary, like end of the world 1980 shit, dude. Like, yeah. I don't even know what I would do in that situation. Honestly, I would just check the fuck out. I'd get out of here. I'd go up north, like, cause.
Oh, you're still trying to live?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm throwing in the.
I'm
towel.
going up north.
Yeah, all our friends are just throwing in the towel. It's the easy thing to do. Come on.
I guess I'm killing myself.
I thoroughly believe that something great is waiting for me. Like at the end of this life, I don't know what you guys believe, but whatever you believe is cool with me. But I believe that something great happens after this. Like, this is not it. My spirit is not done. Like, my body might be done, but my spirit is everlasting. I believe that. I don't know if everybody's is. Because there's some dull-ass motherfuckers. You know? And spirit...
I feel like your spirit is everlasting. I mean...
I think so.
Your soul or whatever, like... feel like... goes in and out of, like, different being, maybe. I don't know. It's...
like reincarnation.
Kind of, I guess so, yeah. Like,
you believe that?
I don't know really what I believe, because I believe a lot of different things. Like, some things sound cool to me in the moment, and I'm like, oh, that's it. And then I'll forget about it, and then next time I hear something cool, I'm like, that's it too.
Yeah.
Like one time I heard that, like, at the end of your life, your brain releases like DMT for 8 minutes.
I've heard that.
And like when you're sleeping, it releases it for like a second or something. And like 8 minutes, just like, I'm like, oh, well, if it's a full dream is 1 second of that. 8 minutes of that must feel like eternity. So maybe that's what we perceive heaven as, or whatever. And like, it's
That's
just
your
our
life flashing
dreamscape.
before your eyes.
That's very interesting.
But like, so I'll believe that. But then I'll hear something else cool and believe that too. So like, reincarnation does sound pretty cool.
I kind of like that dream.
Yeah, well,
The DMT
that
factor.
like, and that like,
What would that feel like? Would it just be a dream world?
I don't know. Well, I kind of like to tie in the heaven and hell. Like, maybe if you like deep down believe that you're a good person,
Oh, so it's
you'll
like
like have a good dream or whatever.
experience
Yeah,
that's influenced by how you feel you did.
how you've lived your how
Like
you
your-
your
how
soul,
you perceive your
yourself,
karma
yeah,
or something.
Like your inner thoughts believe that who you are. Like, so if you did shitty things your whole life and you feel bad that you did the shitty things, maybe you go to hell because
And you're guilty
some
about it or
sort of you're
something, yeah.
guilty. Like, and
That's
that,
super
like the
interesting.
dream just tricks you into thinking it's hell or some shit. I don't.
So it could all, based off of that theory, it could all be based off of internal like reflection.
How you feel about yourself, and
That's crazy. That's crazy, and that would tie in with
That
like the
would-
sacred geometry of like brain waves with the electromagnetic brain waves or whatever, the patterns, how they mimic
yeah.
the universe and stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That would tie in with that. If you look deep into somebody's eyes too, it does look like a galaxy.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, it
so
does.
many. There's so many like
There's so much crazy shit, man.
there's so many similarities, between our makeup.
like cosmic
And our-
coincidences.
That's so dope. Cosmic consequences, super dope. Just as a phrase. I don't know, man. There's a lot of similarities, and that's the cool thing, that there's certain questions that no matter how great people have been able to think, there's still
You
a
never-
lot of
yeah.
unknown.
Yeah,
And that's really that's why I like psychology and stuff like that, because there's so much that we don't understand yet. And like to me, that's an open door of like exploration. It's like dive into what we don't know. It's the most interesting shit in the world, really.
I'm with you on that.
It's cool.
It's super fucking cool.
it's the precipice of humanity at that stage, the edge of our knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. So if it was a DMT, if the afterlife, the perception of afterlife as we know it, was like an 8-minute DMT release or whatever, what is there to be said about like lucid dreaming? Like, could you figure out a way upon death? Maybe this is like what monks are doing and stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
They're just like practicing.
How to die, maybe.
I mean, monks do practice detachment. Like they cut off all their hair. They let that shit go. They could be practicing that shit too.
There are so many things, dude, that we're tied to. That, like, if you look at what human beings need to survive, like food, water, air, and shelter, everything else is like excessive. Everything else is like fulfilling pleasure rather than satisfying conservation of life.
Well, is it excessive or is it enrichment?
I think it's some shit's excessive. Like, for humanity to survive, we don't need the internet, we don't need TVs, we don't need cars. But I also think, like,
But that has enriched the experience so
Yeah.
much, though.
true. But I also think, like, the life of like a hunter gatherer isn't what like it wasn't the end goal for humanity, and that's why we pushed past that. So like, I think our brains are too smart to just like stay in that realm.
Yeah.
That like we needed to push and push and push, and like,
And on an individual level, that's probably why we have such a desire for growth.
Yeah.
It's like feeding that same appetite for progression.
Like, yeah, think about when you were a kid. Like, growing up, all I wanted was to be independent, be an adult, be able to do things myself, and like get by, like just do whatever I wanted to do.
And there's a serious grass is always greener like complex that you develop once you have to like once it turns from desire, like child desire, like I want to be able to do all the cool stuff, it quickly switches once it becomes like I have to do this now.
It's like, wait.
Oh shit. I think I made a mistake. You know? But I don't know, there's a lot of cool stuff to think about, and it's crazy that we occupy so much thought into all this stuff that just makes us feel bad. Like, people entertain so much negativity based off, like, if I'm trying to prove that you're wrong with your opinion politically, or if, like, you know, there's people that walk around, like, just completely obsessed with negativity, and I wonder if they ever think of stuff that, like, makes it feel hopeful, or stuff that, like, is really intriguing.
Like, do they ever have a good time?
Yeah.
Like, if nothing's ever perfect for them, what type, like, that just sounds like a shitty ass life to live.
I feel like that a lot because I'm very, very critical, and mainly of myself. And you guys definitely see it now too, being like in business with me with the crawl. I'm so hard to satisfy, and I don't know where that comes from, dude. You know, I was definitely never like positively reinforced as a kid, but it's like this never pleased thing, you know, and I could try to like fake it to myself, and a lot of times I do. A lot of the times I try to like convince myself, not that I'm happy, but like, I don't know, the power of thought is very real.
Yeah, you can trick yourself into being happy.
I don't know if I want happiness though, because happiness,
what?
It's the way that I perceive happiness, it should be a momentary thing.
It is.
It should come and go. It's not like a sustainable, I'm always happy. That's not what I'm after.
You devalue it eventually.
Yeah.
That's not realistic.
I do feel happy. Like, I feel happiness.
Yeah,
but
like
satisfaction and like things that, like goals and stuff like that, like things that I have going on, feeling satisfied and like proud of it is something that is so rare.
Like, I'd rather feel fulfilled, I guess. Like, rather than like the happy all the time, I'd rather have a fulfilling life than just like my idea of a happy life. Because like, I change my mind so often. Shit that I like really enjoy, two months later, I'll fucking be like, yo, that's the stupidest shit in the world.
Yeah.
Like, I change my mind so often. Like, so happiness is always like a moving thing for me. It's like never like, shit's never good enough. I'll be into something for a little while, and like then it doesn't make me happy anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
I think there's a lot of people that are like that. You know?
I'm like that.
Yeah. I think so.
yeah. So like, I guess fulfillment is more of what I'm looking for.
That's like the purpose of it
Meaningful
all.
fulfillment.
Meaningful fulfillment, feeling like useful in some sort of capacity, I guess.
I dig that. And I think that's more rewarding too. Because I do think like happiness, unless it's shared, like a shared experience, and maybe this is wrong, but I feel like it could be a selfish thing. It's like, until I'm in a position where I can help everybody I come in contact with be happy, at least for a second. And I think that's why I cherish comedy the way I do, and music too. It's a connection thing. It's like, I don't know. I don't want to, I cannot truly be happy or satisfied until I have that ability to like provide that. You know, it's got to be like as soon as I get it and feel it, I want to be able to share it with you guys. And if I can't do that, what's the point?
What good is it doing for everybody else?
What good is it even for me?
What good is it doing for you?
Because I feel like way better, just in general, when the people I'm around are like happy to be around. And that's like the reward. That's the fulfillment. It's the connection. But fulfillment, that's a crazy thing because that's like making a declaration like, yo, what is going to like make my spirit and like my heart and like my every part of my emotion feel satisfied and like the useful thing. I like that too. That's such a scary thought, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like shit like that. I don't know what's gonna make me feel fulfilled until like I don't have that thing anymore. Like leaving the apartment, I didn't know that living in the apartment made me feel a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Until I didn't have it anymore and realized like, oh shit, like I really didn't like need that to.
Well, there was a lot that was tied into that independence that was like rewarding on a personal level.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, that like I just looked over also in the time. Like I was like,
probably took it for granted.
Definitely took it for granted.
That makes me think, dude, like what else could that be? Like, you know, it's a real luxury to have things to take for granted. And like, you know, there was a death in my family recently, and like death is one of those things too where it's like I don't want this relationship, regardless of how I feel right now, I don't want to take this relationship for granted because I don't know how it will feel after.
Yeah.
Like when there is no more even an option for it. But how do you combat that? Like, is there even a way?
I don't know.
Is there even a way? Like, it's just gratefulness. I get it, but how do you pinpoint what to be grateful for exactly? Just anything that gives you a semblance of fulfillment?
Can you even put that on like a scale? Like what to be grateful for like that? Like
just everything. I think it's all or nothing.
Like
I think it's the good, the bad, the ugly, or nothing at all. Either you're grateful for all of it, just for it being what it is, or you can't be grateful for anything, truly.
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, like, going back to the don't know what to be grateful for at the time. I think that's what you said. I forget. But, like I always talk about, like, the golden years or whatever, like, or people always say, like, you know, the golden years fucking, or we've said it in our friend group. But, like, when I think back, every time, like hanging out at your house, the 2010 era, like, that was the funnest time in my life. Until, like, and then I would do some other shit, and then that became the funnest time in my life. You're like, you never know you're in the best years of your life while you're doing it. Like, you never know, like, what is...
But if it's feeling like that, and, like, you're able to look back just with a small amount of time in between and be like, yo, at that point, that was the best part of my life, then that...
Every time I look back, it's the best part of my life.
That's
like,
what I was getting at.
Oh, shit, that was my favorite part of life.
It's easier to be grateful for it after.
Yeah,
the fact.
True.
And it's also because you're having an awesome life and you feel good about it.
I guess, yeah.
And that's...
Got good people around me, and...
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah. Experiencing that fulfillment.
And that's fortune, dude. Because that's a fortune that a lot of people don't get.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's where the gratefulness is born. It's like recognizing
what
you
got.
I have to be grateful for this because a lot of people don't have it. And it sucks that it has to be by comparison. But
I mean, you got to compare yourself at some point just to see where you're at.
That goes back to us being pack animals.
Yeah.
That's how survival was designed for human being. For human life, it's like we had to rely on each other where my wits might let me down. You guys, as part of my pack, would hold me up. Or you would provide whatever I was lacking, and I would do it for the pack as well.
Yeah.
It was like a reciprocated desire, to, like, survive.
and survive to the max.
Our asses off to the max.
Survive my ass off to the max.
And look, dude, we have survived our ass off to the max. Mm-hmm. Damn, bro, that made me feel good when you said that. Looking back, every time was the best time of your life. I don't know why, because I definitely don't feel like that in my own life. But just hearing that made me feel like warm.
Well, you were part of like 3 of those looking back times. John was too. So like,
I just like you feeling like that made me feel good. Like not attaching myself in any way. Just like the fact that you felt that way is like fucking inspired. Like it's
it makes
awesome.
you hopeful.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Good shit.
That's cool as hell, bro. That's cool as hell. We got a lot of shit that we could sit around and discuss. And we got a lot of stuff as people right now living in a time that's crazy. We've never seen a time like this. There's so much. There's so much opportunity for us to focus on all this fugazi shit. On all this shit that's just going to bum us out. But it's important that people know if you feel trapped by that shit right now, that's not the only thing you can think about. If all your friends are always talking about political bullshit or your family every time you're around them, surround yourself with different people. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, and if you're a perpetrator doing that to people, like that's the only thing that you ever think about, that's the only thing you ever talk about.
Settle down.
Not only settle down, but like expand your thought.
Yeah.
Like,
be open to somebody else's opinion, basically.
Just go outside and fucking like be in a warm, sunny day.
Touch some fucking grass.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know, man. It's heavy. It doesn't have to be so damn heavy. It can be just life itself. We're in a time right now.
Do you see the irony of that statement after the past 40 minutes?
Yeah, I do. I do, but I don't know. The heaviness, I don't know.
It still holds
It's a different heavy. Like this was not like us bashing anybody.
No.
That's the heavy, like that smoggy heaviness. That's what I was talking about. Like the atmosphere of culture today is crazy as hell, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy as hell. But what is equally as crazy is the amount of like entertainment, the amount of like love that I see when I go out in the world. We have like way more love for each other than ever before.
It's like you'll see like that fucking people being nice people, fucking like shit that like puts a smile on my face, like somebody helping somebody or like just people like laughing and enjoying life and shit. And then like you go online and see like the complete opposite and like being told that like the world is the complete opposite.
I don't know why we do that, man, because it's the same people. Like, we are the same people.
Like,
we're the same people outside that's helping somebody cross the street, or like fucking if I see a lady raking or something like that, if I go and rake her yard for her. But
you can see that through those avenues too. It just depends on what you're looking for.
True.
And that's all dependent on the outlook that you have initially going into it.
That's true.
True. Well, I mean, I follow a lot of like meme pages that like post shit that like I don't think is
like you don't agree with.
Yeah. So like I forget where I was going with that. God damn it.
So fuck those meme pages.
Yeah, fuck those meme pages.
I don't know, man. Listen, dude. I got these relationships in my life that like I know I'm not putting the effort that I should, and everything that I do is justified. Like, I don't do shit by accident. I'm very calculated and I'm very thoughtful, obviously. Probably to a fault. But I have to question the justification of some of them, And like some of my closest relationships with family and shit, it's like I'm sometimes disgusted on how I'm acting, just cold and like bitter. But it's justified in my mind, and I have to let go of that. I have to part with that because that's the same ugliness that we just talked about for an hour.
Yeah.
And so there's growth that needs to happen, and I'm at a point where I'm not going to make excuses for myself, and I'm not going to feel bad for myself, right? I'm not going to feel inferior, right? anymore. I can't allow it.
Yeah.
Because I think there is like a beast within me that's ready to take over the world.
Yeah.
And I want to do something great with my life. I got to let go of the baggage, dude. It prevents me from a lot. And there's so much resentment, dude. It's just crazy. I don't even know where that had nothing to do with nothing we were talking about, but it felt good to say it out loud, and just give it a place to live, get it out of here. Just treat people all right. And if there's if there's shit that you can't get over or that you don't forgive, like that is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like you ever. Yeah. Like you don't have to forgive somebody if you don't want to. It's your life. You're fucking do what you want to do.
And I think a lot of us, a lot of the time, feel like we have to. Like we feel
pressured by society or whatever. Like of what other people are going to think. Like, oh, you didn't forgive this person? Why not? Like you should for your benefit. Like,
and no, people around,
forgiving them is for your benefit. Shut up, dude.
Right.
Like,
right. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
If anything, if you feel like if you've been hurt to a point where you don't feel like you want to forgive somebody,
don't
delete it.
Yeah.
Delete it, dude. Create cut off communication.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Right? Because you're not always the problem. Remember that, because I have to tell myself that too, and I feel so guilty and I beat myself up. But in these situations, I'm, like I said, thoughtful, and I'm compassionate and empathetic.
You can only do what
I'm not always the fucking problem.
Yeah, like you can't treating if somebody treats you shittily, stooping to their level is just gonna make you feel a way that you don't want to feel. It's like
straight up,
like seeing somebody throw trash on the ground. Oh, might as well throw trash on the ground too and make this place a shithole even more. Like
that's a wicked good analogy, dude.
Like
that's a wicked.
Nah, throw your trash away and then
somebody else will see that.
Yeah, maybe. Or let them steep in their own trash and filth, and you gotta know. You just know, like, none of this is mine. Like,
yep,
I got all my shit together.
Yep, and just be led with love. Like don't focus on all the bullshit because there's so much other good stuff to focus on. Try to focus on that. When you can't, just remember you're not always the problem, and don't fucking just because you see them throw their trash on the street. Don't throw yours on the street. That still doesn't make it okay, just like you said. Because then after a while, you're just living in an area that's full of trash.
Yeah.
And then what are you?
Trash person.
Trash person. But at the end of the day, I guess be grateful. Stop trying to cancel Elon Musk and do something.
Every day.
Makes your life feel like
it's worth it.
Thanks.